back to the Speakeasy Podcast. I'm Joey Sypher with my man JB here. And thanks for tuning in again. I hope you enjoyed the first one. We touched a little bit on everything I felt like, from like COVID to the Speakeasy stuff.
Everything. A little bit of politics stuff.
Yeah, some politics stuff, some kitchen stuff.
Cannabis stuff as usual.
Yeah. So, welcome back, and we're here again. And what do you got for us, JB?
I just the views and the reactions that we got from the post, they loved it, but a lot of people were asking more about like your cooking stuff. They were really interested in that.
Yeah.
They probably feel the same way that we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
So, what's your background on cooking?
Yeah.
When did you start? What's your whole background on cooking? So people kind of go, I know it.
All right.
But you know?
Yeah, for sure. So I started, I'm 37. I started in the game when I was 15. Started at Lorenzos, did blessing stuff and dishwashing stuff, and kind of worked my way up from there. I've been around Italian restaurants, corporate restaurants, to mom and pops. So I feel like I've done it all. My last gig, I was a corporate chef for Bousquets Brewing Company.
Nice.
I was out in Albuquerque, kind of helping them get all the locations up, opening new locations, helping with like operation side of things, and kind of just getting the ball rolling with that. So I think I'm pretty versatile from the kitchen, from like anything from prepping to cooking to the whole business side of things and putting P&Ls together.
Right.
And cost reports and all that. So
all the stuff that would give me a headache.
Yeah, it's a major headache. But I have a passion for that. I've always been cooking. Like, I grew up cooking with mom in the kitchen, grandma in the kitchen, seeing them put their red chili together and cooking beans all day, and you know what I mean. So that's kind of where I slipped in.
Out of the freezer.
Grabbing your shredded cheese and munching it. So that's where I kind of got my intro to it, and then just kind of jumped into it. Did kind of like a weekend thing. I mean, you're a kid in school and you do it for the weekend, like during high school, and kind of just grew the love from there.
So when you started at Lorenzos, that's old school Lorenzo. That's when you had Wolf Brothers there, right?
Yeah. Cousins. And that was before the split happened, and it was crazy. I would have shifts in Mesilla before they even opened. The one that was right off of Avenida de Mesilla.
Right.
We were the old Dick's Cafe. I think Andales is in there now. And that was at a Lorenzo's location back in that, tucked away in that corner. And I remember picking up pizza shifts there. I worked on the Alameda location where Bida Belgium is now.
Right.
That used to be a Lorenzo's Cafe. And then, of course, I worked at the university one. And then we opened, it was called the Avanti location, right off of Roadrunner, where I think
I heard of that.
there's that hibachi grill there.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Sakura. Yeah.
Thai Sakura.
Yeah, that used to be a Lorenzo's.
Really? I didn't know that.
It was a sick location, 2 stories. It was just super cool. So
did you start off you started dishwashing, or did you just go right into chefing it up? Like,
no,
what was the transition?
I got hired as a buster and a dishwasher. So I would only work like maybe Thursday night, Friday, Saturday all day, and Sunday all day. I would just weekend warrior it. And I would go bus in the mornings and then usually dishwash at night.
That's cool.
And I kind of just worked there, kind of did all that. And we would get employee meals, so I would go back and like make my own pizza for my employee meal. I think it was Lorenzo. He walked by and I made my pizza, and I was eating at the table, and he goes, "Who made that?" It's like, "I did." And he just nodded, walked away, came back, looked at the hang time on the pie, like looked at the crust and everything. And I had pizza shifts like that next week.
Oh, that's
cool.
And that's cool.
Mary was the GM at the time. She put me on the schedule, and I had pizza shifts and learned how to do pies, and I was flipping them, doing all that whole thing. And I loved it. I grew a love for it. As a kid, you deal with like the frustrations and like the rush and like the whole mental aspect of it. But I always loved that adrenaline that came with it. And then just worked my way up, saw the guys doing saute and pans in the back, sauces in the back, and I jumped on, would ask questions, and I was with them for like 7 years. So I did pizzas, jumped back in the back, and did all that stuff. So yeah, I kind of did a little bit of everything with them.
That's awesome. So kind of the reason I asked, when we talked about this in last week's show, the morale level when you go out to eat, or how servers are acting now, or how your food doesn't come out right. So from Go back from not being a dishwasher to being corporate chef.
All right.
Okay, you're running. How many Bousquets were there at that time?
We had 2 in Cruces. There was one in Albuquerque, one in Bernalillo. We're getting the Santa Fe going at the time before that one opened, and then we were working on 2 expansion locations.
So at least 4.
Yeah. We had 4 up and going, and the Beast of Bernalillo. Shout out to my people out in Bernalillo. That location is crazy. You got the distill, like the brewery in there, the whole kitchen, the corporate offices are there. It's a good spot. Yeah.
So if you could transport back in kitchen time and be the corporate chef again, how do you think, or what do you think the issues right now are? Like if they sat you down and said, Sypher, you're the best corporate chef that we had. Tell us what's going on right now in this business and why it's going down. Like, do you think? I mean, that's a huge question I just asked you. But.
And it's kind of hard to see just from an outsider's perspective. I mean, we're just picking on Bousquets, but.
Oh yeah, we just use it as an example. Like,
as an outside perspective, you really don't know what's going on behind closed doors or on that forefront of the kitchen. It could just be lack of employees. It could be lack of trained employees or employees that can keep up. You know what I mean? It could be a leadership issue from the top, or it could be a leadership issue from like the restaurant level. You know what I mean? So it could be a few things that kind of gets morale down, but it all starts at the store, like your storefront, and you always got to have, like I said when we did that podcast last week, you always got to have those leaders that will bring up morale in the store locations, no matter what's going on. If there's multiple locations, or if you're a corporate place, or if you just have one mom and pop store, like that one location you're working out of, you always got to have those people who bring morale back up and bring that, that, I don't know, just that love back, you know what I mean? And we would do things like that all the time. Like I said, we'd bring coffee or energy drinks, or I'll make food for the staff and kind of get everybody going. I learned that from, I was at Olive Garden for a while, and we would always do like a Sunday fun day. And I looked forward to working Sunday shifts. Like, nobody wanted to work Sunday shifts, but I knew if I was gonna get my hours, I might as well work a Sunday shift and get fed. You know what I mean? Like, we bring in a bunch of subs, everybody eats. Like the manager would tell me to, hey, cook something up for everybody. We would cook something up and like everybody would get down. So I would look forward to those times and just eating with everybody, eating with the staff. You go to war with them every day, like with the battles from the front of the house to the back of the house, and you're trying to crank out orders, and server messes up an order, frustrates the kitchen gets mad. Like, you're literally going to battle with those people. So to sit and eat a good meal with them and like conversate and like bond a little bit, like outside that war zone is
like, hey, we're still friends.
We're still homies.
Yeah, we're at war, but we're still friends.
You're front of the house, I'm back of the house, but they probably don't have a lot of that. You know what I mean? And that's probably where that lack of motivation comes from, that lack of attention to like detail, for your tickets. And
so you would say the main thing is just the morale level. And we use Bousquets as an example because you used to work there. Yeah. But it's every restaurant. We've been all over the United States this last 8 months too, and then everywhere we've gone.
Yeah,
I think there was one time where we were in like 4 different states in 2 different days. And we both called our girls at home. We're like, we have not had a good meal in 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, every place we went to, there was a
We're
problem.
like so looking forward to fish and chips and like San Francisco or something, and we didn't even, it was a bust.
It was a bust everywhere. It was a bust in San Fran and Oregon.
Yeah.
Colorado Pub.
And then we found that one spot. It was like $34 for a member. And you're like,
what is this?
I was like, I'm gonna get the pulled pork sandwich.
We had the gnats in my food, and I thought I was going crazy.
Oh,
I was like, do you see what's going on? You're like, I don't see it. I was like, bro, if I move my plate,
oh, that was
gnats fly
disgusting, dude. I didn't eat for like 2 days after that trip. It was so bad.
I had the worst luck with that trip with food.
I legit almost threw up. Like, I'm in the middle enjoying my food. It was delicious.
And I'm like, gnats.
These gnats fly up. And,
and some like, I got you, sir.
Shake it off.
No, we're talking about that. So you think this morale, right?
Yeah,
I mean, because we've seen it everywhere. It's just, everybody's just not happy.
Yeah, and everybody knows the restaurant game, and that whole, like, being a server and being a cook isn't easy. And I feel like that that industry has gotten paid such a low wage throughout all the years. Like before COVID, everybody just dealt with it. This is what I'm doing, pays the bills, whatever. And COVID hit, and everybody, I think, kind of like did a reality check and was like, where am I working at? And why am I working at for such a low wage for such hard hours? Like, you're on your feet all the time. You're in like cold conditions, hot conditions.
Right.
You barely get to eat. You got to eat on the fly. It's chaotic. There's loud sounds. Like, it's a hectic condition to be in to get $12 an hour.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I freaked out seeing the hectic condition. One of your chefs that used to work with you is now like the head chef or private chef over at Topgolf in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And we went and
Glenn,
did our,
shout out Glenn.
Yeah, we went and did our tour. He was really nice. Thank you for everything. That food was dope. But we walked into the back of his kitchen.
And that kitchen's huge.
Yeah,
huge.
Like,
yeah.
I watch like Hell's Kitchen and stuff. I call you. I love
Yeah.
watching cooking shows. Walking into that and seeing like 5 different kitchens inside of
There's
one.
like 5 different stations.
Yeah,
and
40 people in there, loud.
everybody's moving. Everybody's.
And they're one looking at you like, why are you just standing there?
Yeah.
They don't even know that you don't work there. They're
So grab something and start cooking
move,
something.
like, why are you?
Oh, look at our prep list. It's
Who is this guy?
yeah.
I'm just here for the food. I'm just standing.
We're just hanging out.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, we're like walking behind people, like behind you, you know, doing our safety words,
Yeah.
and people are moving. Everybody was moving everywhere. It was
getting anxiety just thinking about it.
yeah, I love it, and I think that's why I thrive in such chaotic conditions because of those workplaces, and you know, I'm grateful to have those opportunities and to be there and to learn all the life skills I did with the amazing chefs I worked with and getting brought up in the game, because it's translate like in life situations when crazy things happen. I feel like I'm locked in. You know what I mean? Like, I handle it. I think you said that like the best. Like, you work best in chaotic situations.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Which
Great.
is fine. Which is fine. That's how it is
great.
nowadays. You have being a business owner is chaos, and you have to be able to function in it.
So, I mean, there's perks from being in that industry, but I think just for the most part, people are tired. People are tired of not getting paid what they think they're worth. You know what I mean? And that's across the board, from servers to hosts to, you know.
I think like people thought the food industry was just for like 16-year-old kids trying to get their first job and stuff, but that's fast food. Like, when you go to a nice restaurant, like, you want top-notch service. You want someone that's going to be able to talk to you.
Great plate presentation.
Yeah, you want the whole thing. You
Yeah.
don't just want a burger and a piece of paper. Like,
Yeah.
it's a different style of job.
Yeah,
like a completely different style of job.
100%.
But they started paying people the same exact way all the way through.
Yeah, and it just didn't. Yeah, when you're working in those types of environment, you're creating your craft, you're creating this plate of food, and you're working hard into it. You're literally putting your blood, sweat, and tears, and you don't get paid. You know what I mean? What you think you're worth. It's frustrating. I've been there, you know, and you kind of do like a reality check, and it's like, well, I can just go work landscaping, and it's the same elements in a sense. You know what I mean? And get paid a little bit more, or
basically manual labor for both industries.
Or I can move up front, work some tables. Yeah, they get paid $2 an hour, or I don't know. I think it went up.
I think so.
Did it go up? I need to check my reference in the back. The server wage, is it about $2 an hour? Is it still? Yeah, I think it's still around. It might have went up a little bit. But like, even that, like, you can hustle your tables and like do a good service so you can get like good tips in return. You know what I mean? And turn tables and work your money and make yourself a little bit more money than just being in the back stuck at an hourly wage. You know what I mean? There's that aspect of, and then there's the aspect, well, I'm just gonna go out, work at Walmart and chill for the same amount of wage. You know what I mean? And get benefits. That's one thing. Like, there's hardly benefits in that career.
Really?
You know? Yeah. I mean, you gotta pay for your stuff now, but like, work with big corporations, it's sometimes like thrown in there in like some of the packages and stuff. You know what I mean?
But not, on general speaking, not your normal
No.
restaurants here in town aren't offering benefits.
Like,
health
some of the bigger
insurance
ones,
and stuff like
like Bousquets, like, offer them, but like your mom and pop stuff, like, really don't. Like, you gotta go out and kind of get your own, you know. So there's that, and so it's just, I think just people just got tired of just being in it. You know what I mean? And those big leaders, like we talked about, that bring up morale, aren't really there anymore. They're just kind of moving on and kind of doing their own thing. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think of, but I mean, it is what it is. I think it'll be a new era. Maybe something else will pop up. Like, maybe it'll be the era of the food trucks. You know what I mean? And you kind of just go and do your thing and open your own food truck.
And I think even food trucks right now are starting to feel it also.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
before, like we see a lot of people that have food trucks that are like looking for employee, looking for cooks and stuff. You're like,
and it's a grind, you know. I mean, it's a grind to get up and do your own prep and do your own stuff. Because me and my fiance thought about it before kind of all this, like, hey, let's just do our food truck, do our own thing. But you're the only two working. Like, if you don't have employees, like, you're the only two grinding it out every day, waking up early, doing your prep, you know, setting up your food truck, up late at night, you know, doing your thing, and then doing it all over again.
You gotta do it every day.
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
It gets exhausting, especially A, if you're not busy and you put in all that work, or B, if you're blessed and you're super, super busy, where you just beat every night and then start all over again every day.
It's a grind.
So, yeah, it's a grind. It literally is a grind, but, you know, that reward that I get when I see somebody eating and they're enjoying it, and that is better than anything.
That's dope.
Yeah, and just feeding people, you know?
That's
You're putting your heart and soul into something,
cool.
and you're putting that energy into that dish, you know what I mean? And the people are eating it and having a great time and smiling and you know, your whole love that they're eating in that meal. You know, I got a food for thought for you guys. So, you ever go to a restaurant and you've had the food there before, or it's been great, you go and you just get sick, you go again, you're just like, what the heck, man? Like, I got something different. Maybe like you had chicken or something, and you're like, oh, maybe stuff happens, right?
Right.
Maybe they didn't cook my chicken, or it was raw, or you think it was food poisoning or something. And then you go back and have the same thing, it's great, but something else is off or something. You got to think about the energy people are putting into making your food. Because if they're pissed off back there, and they're not having a good time, and they're putting that bad energy into that food that they're making you, and you're consuming that energy, dude, it's going to make you sick. It's going to throw your energy off. So think about that next time you go somewhere to eat. Like, pay close mind to what's going on in the kitchen, because you hear them upset and banging stuff. Like, maybe you just want to chill out and just have some drink. Yeah, have salad. You know what I mean? Just because you're consuming that energy.
That's crazy to think about. Who are those happy chefs out there? I want to go eat.
Yeah, shout out to all my happy chefs
with your
out there.
food and a smile. I'm gonna be there. Put you on ELC, the whole thing. Food and a smile. That's
so,
cool.
yeah.
Well, it makes sense. Like, we were talking about how they put those cases of water in the middle of New York.
Yeah.
And one of them said, swear at me, and then the other one said, give me compliments.
Yeah.
And then this one started turning brown and like disgusting
crazy,
water, and the other one's like stayed normal for longer.
The power of energy, man. Like the power of words and the power of your intentions. Like, it really, people don't think it like makes a difference or like it does anything, but it does. You know, that energy running through you just makes a huge difference on your day, your life, your health.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, definitely.
So vibe high, people. Vibe high.
High freaking vibing all day in Cruces. That's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what we need to turn Cruces around. Really, is to stay positive.
People just need to start staying positive and vibing high, and the more people that vibe high around each other, and you know, just you can tell the change. You can see the change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it in people for sure.
Enough about me. Let's talk about a little bit about you.
I love talking about you.
So we talked on the last podcast. We talked about Ken and the whole mayor thing. Let's dive into that a bit. You know,
I love that.
I saw, well, you're my best friend, so I know, but you put it out a while back that you're running for mayor.
Yeah.
And so what's your whole thought process behind that and running and, you know, just everything kind of with it?
The thought process is probably crazy. Like,
let's hear it.
It's crazy because of everything that happened. I feel like we've grown up here.
Yeah.
This is our city.
Yeah.
I was born in El Paso, but I was raised here from 2 years old on. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So basically born and raised here. And growing up, maybe it was the Hispanic culture and how it was back in the day, but we were a speak when spoken to type of kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we knew our place.
Yeah, we knew our place. And I feel like now that our generation is getting older and about to be close to 40 years old and stuff like that, right now we're the adults in the town. Yeah. Our generation is now the adults leading this town. It is crazy to think about, but we've never put our voice into this town on how we feel like it should be ran.
Yeah.
And I'm talking we just like 40-year-olds. Anywhere from 25, 30-year-olds all the way up into 50.
Sure.
They've never really had a say in how this city functions, works, or acts.
Sure.
And I really, really feel like it's time that some of the older political leaders, they've done their time, they got us to this point, and shout out to them for running and putting themselves out there.
Yeah.
Putting yourself out there like that.
That's a hard deal.
It's nuts.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Every day.
It's crazy.
These guys just messaged me this.
Yeah.
Like
don't read the comments, bro.
Yeah,
don't read the comments.
And they don't even know you.
Yeah.
They're just assuming something and judging you on something they have no idea about. But it's really time for them to step back. It's a new age. It's a new day. And it's not even just with cannabis or anything. It's business. It's morale in the kitchen.
Sure.
It's where you go get your food. It's how you pick up your groceries from the grocery store. It's the homeless population, the mental health population.
Yeah, the homeless population.
These people don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we might not know how to deal with it either.
Right.
But we have to have the chance to try.
Right.
And if they don't let you behind closed doors to see what they're talking about or to throw your opinions in, you're just falling on deaf ears. People don't have faith in our political leaders. And you can see it.
Yeah.
We're negative here.
Yeah,
We're going on a downslide when Cruces is a huge family. I
Yeah.
feel like anybody in Las Cruces, any Las Cruces citizen, if your tire blew out and you had to pull over to the side of the road, someone's going to stop.
Yeah.
It's not like New York and Cali, they're just going to pass by.
Yeah.
We all stop, we all help each other here. We see people help donate to GoFundMe's here, and just any type of situation that happens.
The support for like the community, like really bonding, like you see on like the community watches and all that, like
Right.
with help, and it's really, really cool to see that.
It's super cool, but our political leaders, they've been non-existent this last couple
Sure.
years, and I know they're probably going through stuff too with COVID, and I don't know what their thought process is when they're a political leader and your whole city's depending on you to do something,
Sure.
but that's what you get voted in for.
Yeah.
To be that rock, to be
that's
that
why you're in
foundation.
those positions for sure.
And these guys have been non-existent. I feel like it's just time for them to step down politely and let this new generation come in and kick ass. Because we're ready for it.
Yeah.
Some of the new city councilors and things like that are going on, they're young, they're our age. We're trying to make a movement. We're
Right.
tired of being raised like this and tired of having these things.
Because a lot of the city council members are our age, right? Like they're,
they are now. Like it is
that's
good.
super cool. That's super cool.
And then that's a really good thing, again, putting themselves out there, but the younger generation, you guys really need to go vote. Like, I remember back in the day we talked about this, I was like, maybe we need to bring back the Rock the Vote.
Yeah.
in 94.
Yeah.
It worked, it worked
Yeah,
for
got
us.
everybody up, to vote.
Yeah, it worked. It doesn't matter who you're voting for. Just go
Yeah.
vote based on your opinion of who you think's gonna help run this country and this city to start off with, number one. But the other big thing is giving a voice to the people. They just had a closed session last week about talking with the homeless issue, which is a huge issue, I would say, for
huge issue.
a big percentage and portion of our community.
It's never been. I mean, I've lived in Las Cruces most of my life, and it's never been like it is now.
It's crazy.
It reminds me a lot like LA back like 10 years ago, like you know what I mean. In some spots.
That's the problem, though.
Yeah.
So if it reminds you of LA back 10 years ago, imagine 10 years from now.
Yeah, and now you go to LA and you go to like the big cities, bro. It's bad. I mean, tents all off the side of the highways.
We have videos of the ones in Oregon and
the
Washington.
ones in Oregon were wild.
It was crazy.
And I think that's the route we're headed on if we keep going to where we're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. We've had the opportunity this last year, 2 years to travel and be on the road and touring and doing all that, and to see these cities from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago to now, and then you come back home and you're like, I've seen this movie before.
Yeah, 100%.
And so when you guys have a work session at the city about homeless issues and how to help mental health, and then you stop public statement, public input, that's all you need right now is public input.
Yeah.
You guys had a chance to fix this. It hasn't gone fixed.
Yeah.
And the public input of 200,000 people as opposed to 5 people trying to figure this out on their own, that's the difference. And that's what I want to do. So it's not about who's mayor. The mayor is just a name. The mayor we've seen is just a name. It's about giving a voice to the people and reaching out to people and saying, hey, how can we fix this issue? How can we change the economy in this state? How can we get people more jobs?
Sure.
How can we raise the wage of all these restaurants? How can we really step in and make an impact right now? We're too poor in Cruces to pay our way out of this, and we don't have the resources to build our way out of this.
Yeah.
So we got to work with this.
Yeah, we got to use our minds.
Yeah, and it starts here and it starts right away, and so that's why I decided to run early, is because I wanted the public's input on what we need to change a year and a half.
When is the mayor run? When is it?
Next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
2023?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that's gonna be it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be exciting. Last time there was 10 people, I think, or 11 people that ran for mayor.
Wow.
Which is super cool.
Yeah.
So you have 11 people's ideas and input. It all fell on deaf ears. Nobody showed up to the debates. Like, I'll have to show you videos. There was literally 6 people there at one of them.
Wow.
That's not going to happen this year, and I think one of the biggest things is, like, thank you and Haley and Kayla and everybody that's been around and getting this started. We have the biggest media outreach right now in southern New Mexico, almost New Mexico. We're pushing up there. We're coming for you guys. But we have the biggest outreach right now in southern New Mexico so if any politicians ever wanted to go on there and talk about their issues and get real public input. Like, get real public input. Like, if you go on a video with us, you're going to get real public input because a lot of people see you.
Yeah.
Even when we did for the politicians that were running last time, and we did a little town hall, and we invited Democrats, Republicans,
that was super cool.
Whoever, they were getting 3,000 or 4,000 views each person on what they wanted to do for the city. And so if they were to use those comments, negative or positive, to benefit the city, I think it would have really jumped in the right direction. It didn't happen. It's just it's really time for a change, and it doesn't matter red, blue, purple. It really doesn't freaking matter anymore.
We just need to change.
The city matters, and the city's red and yellow.
Yeah.
You know, it's the Zia symbol. It's New Mexico. We got to change the city, and if we can change our city, we can change our state.
Yeah.
But we can't change anything with the foundation built on beach sand. That's what it is right now.
Yeah, 100%.
So 100%. That was really the main thing, and also putting myself out there. I've never really put myself out there before. I've always been a person that was like a chip on my shoulder kind of thing. Sure. Like, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to prove you guys wrong. And I've been working that out. I've been working it out. And I've been working it out. So I got it worked out. But the negative comments, the death threats, all that stuff, it's all 100% worth it. Keep it coming because I know you're listening to me.
Yeah.
So even if I say one thing in that 10 seconds makes you stop and you're like, I hate this dude, but he was right about that. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So again, it's no offense to Ken, it's no offense to city councilman, it's no offense to any of that. If I can't do my job correctly, you're going to tell me I can't do my job correctly.
Right.
And so just move on.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
politely.
That's super cool. Yeah, that's
politely,
super
not
cool.
rude. Don't it's time for you to pass the baton off. You guys had your chance. Let someone else play the game now, and let's
I think
keep
that's a
moving forward.
great way to look at it. And I think you're going into it with the right intentions. You're not trying to do it to just get back at people or whatever.
Right.
Like, you're really trying to make a change for this community.
It was at the beginning. it was, but
so I've had a good talk with you.
It was. It really was. But I can't say it was such a bad thing having a chip because I dove in. I was like, I got to find out everything that's going on in this city.
Yeah.
And then after I dove in, I was like, yeah, you were doing it for all the wrong reasons. Just make that change you want.
Yeah.
Don't do it because you don't like Ken, which I do like Ken.
Yeah. Glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, Ken doesn't like me. Call me, bro. Tacos.
That's
Poker,
super
you
cool.
remember that?
Super cool, man. Yeah, I'm proud of you and
Thank you.
everything that you're doing, and the movement, and
it's a team. I mean, if you look at what we've been able to accomplish in this last 9 months with this little team, with this little itty bitty team, we've been able to change this state with this little team right here, our team right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've been able to change this state and change the way a community thought about a product for 100 years.
Yeah.
And we changed it, and it's here, and it's going to change the economy. So if this little team can do that, this team of 120,000 people in Cruces can do
100%.
something fucking magical.
Yeah. 100%.
Excuse my language. I get real passionate about this. But we can do something crazy. We can do something crazy, and we can do something for our future. And now we have kids.
Yeah.
I have teenagers. I have a 2-year-old. Like, they're growing up the same way I did, and it's worse than we did.
Yeah, it's way worse.
We got to run around town having fun, and now we got to worry about our teenagers being able to even walk to their friends.
Yeah, it's done way worse. For
Let's
sure.
make a change, Las Cruces. High vibe, man. This is going to be a positive year. We don't have to walk around with our heads down anymore.
Yeah.
Heads up.
Vibing high.
We're from Cruces. We got this.
Yeah. We've handled worse situations.
A lot worse.
Cruises.
A lot worse.
So, so I think to end it on that, just vibe high, high vibrations, stay positive. Don't read the comments. Don't let the negative kind of get to you.
Right.
Even when it gets tough, like we were talking about the gym today, and I pulled a muscle in my back and I didn't want to be there, but I grinded it out. I worked harder. I stayed an extra 15, 20 minutes, making sure I got it in. Those are the times that you really need to shine. You need to really like vibe high. Like those times where it's tough, it's hard. You don't want to get up in the morning. You want to go vibe high, grind, and just push yourself through, push it through those hard times, because those hard times don't stay forever. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
There's always good times. There's always hard times.
I think the biggest chip on my shoulder, and I've literally talked to you about it and said, I just don't feel like anybody was grateful or said thank you for like everything that happened. It was negative. And I looked back at the last year, and I was thinking about this podcast that we were going to do last night. And I looked at the people last year that were making huge impacts, the Marcy Dickersons of the world, the food boxes, and doing all these things. And I don't see them doing it now because they got kicked and kicked and kicked when they were trying to help out. So I feel like they stopped and they ran out of wind. Get back out there, keep doing it. And if no one's told you, thank you guys for everything, for stepping up in this last 2 years. Everybody in the city that stepped up. If you haven't heard it from anybody, you're going to hear it from us.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
For sure.
We love this city. We love this community.
Yeah,
and,
everything everybody's done for it, like the Marcy Dickersons, like those food boxes, like we need to see that going up again, like, and more people need to get out there, more people need to start doing stuff, the can drives and the toy drives we did.
The MCs,
the
350 cans of food, 70 turkeys, jackets, blankets, all in a day.
All in a day.
All in a day.
Yeah.
And
those little things that help our community are huge, and we all need to stick together and keep doing those things and keep helping each other out. Keep lending a hand to your brother or sister off the side of the road that need it, or we all know who need it. We all know who has good intentions behind it and stuff. But even so, just lend a helping hand when you can.
Yeah,
I think
that's basically it, right?
Yeah. Thanks for joining in for the second podcast of the Speakeasy. I'm Joey Sypher, my man JB. You guys vibe high today, and we appreciate you guys. Later.